On the menu for today is this little fella. You might recognize some of the details from my first build, just because this is still my first build. I simply wanted to change up a couple of things. I had the Punch Monkey free file 1.3s printed in this beautiful green color, which I think suits this build absolutely perfect. On the front, there's not that much changed. I'm still having the Injera brass knuckles, but what I added is this. So that's yeah, I guess you can see it better right here. It's a piece of styrene, but this is only so in order to have something to glue on, because behind this piece of polystyrene is tungsten putty. So that was just what was available, and it's 10 gram per side in the front, and in the rear it's 5 gram per side. Yes, and so far it works like hangers work. It's absolutely flawless. On the outside there's something hidden behind these polystyrene discs, of course. It's German pocket change again. Yes, you heard it right. It's about, I guess, 11 gram per side. So yeah, all in all, I simply wanted to still be able to keep this build fairly lightweight, simply just because I have the stock axle shafts and the stock transmission still in there with the plastic gear. Yeah, you can see it right here. And yeah, just because of all of that, I don't want it to have the drivetrain too much strained. So in the front there's also something new. I made this rubber thingy for the servo that allows me to put the rubber band on. You maybe know you will get all of this in 3D file form, but yeah, that was just a test for this polystyrene plate. I had bought a 2mm one, and I thought, like, yeah, why not? That's a perfect test of how it works and how it feels to work with the 2mm sheet. So major change on all of the electronics. So all of the electronics is changed. I had the, if you remember, I had the brushed setup, Chinese brushed setup, cheapo style, and I bought the brushless system because I had in mind to put it on my new build, but yeah, things came different, and then I decided to simply put it in there. And so far I really couldn't be more happy with how this thing crawls. It's still running on the 2S LiPo battery. I guess everything would be nicer, smoother, and a little bit more powerful with 3S battery. But yeah, so far I guess it's okay. Maybe you will see it in the video footage afterwards that it's sometimes a little bit stuttery, and I could think that this is probably coming from the 2S rather than using the 3S. So yeah, another look at the cage, and this is what the this is also what the truck has its name from, because I called it the Bourbon Bug, like a suburban buggy style. always liked this longer roofs, and it turned out I would need all of that space. So in the rear you can still see the Yepspec chassis. Oh, and another major change is the complete chassis is switched to the Yepspec chassis. I had the first build was still based on the stock chassis, but for this time I just wanted to try this one out as a simple and cheap way to really boost the climbing abilities, and so far I couldn't be more stoked on how this thing performs, just given the fact that you will get all of these 3D files completely for free. So yeah. On the downside, yeah, not a lot going on. Maybe the only thing that's not so common is the lower links in the rear. I mounted directly to the rails, simply just because I had this length laying around, and I thought it would suit the whole build very nice, and also with the wheelbase that I had in mind. This now is 127 millimeters, so not really a shorty, given the fact that this would be 120 millimeter, but yeah, it's still kind of short, which I like, because it's just so much fun on the indoor course. And overall, I also just love the look of a compact whip like that. It just looks cooler in my eyes. So major change on the rear also is the rubber band attached. I guess that's pretty familiar for most of you guys, as you have seen it on the builds from Mr. 919 No Image, which, as you can see, was a pretty big inspiration for this whole build. So yeah, other thing in the back is a little diff slider glued to the axle with E6000. What else? So yeah, I guess that is pretty much all I can say at the moment about this build. Now enjoy having a look of seeing what this thing is capable of. Yeah, last but not least, pretty important is always the weight. And with all the changes made, as of now, it sits right at 335 gram. So yeah, still pretty light. And that's the weight on the front axle. Oh, that was it for now from me and Mr. Bourbon Bug. If you like what you've just seen, then consider liking and maybe subscribing to the channel if you want to see more. Peace.